Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon from March 6, 2021, with your host, Speedbreaker2448 and Rampant Epsilon.
Hello.
A bevy of news ahead of us because people actually wanted to talk about stuff this week. Granted, some is not as good news as others, unfortunately. But before we get into any of that, Tommy, you been playing anything interesting in the last couple weeks?
Well, yeah. I mean, one of them's kind of been talked about. Because, yeah, Memory of Heroes.
I will do a run as soon as I tear myself away from strikers.
Fair. I don't know if I feel like I would be going into, like, a New Game Plus run. Because I don't think I'm even at the halfway point, and I know roughly that's about a 2-hour point right there.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like a New Game Plus would be a probably 4 to 6 hour. I say that because there's a lot of cutscenes in the game.
Yeah.
It took like 12 hours to beat the game, kind of deal. Yeah. I feel like 4 would be fair for it, kind of deal. I don't see me doing that, but I probably will focus on survival. I may treat the time trial for like New Game Plus stuff as I'm gonna see how low I can eventually get that timer down to for the fight timer, but yeah, I probably won't do any runs because it's got to be all one segment. And it's like, yeah, no. I'm not gonna spend a quarter of a day doing one run. No.
Oh, come on. They did that. They'd prepare you for doing a Persona run.
No.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't even know what speedruns are for Persona games.
There is a reason why really Odyssey any percent is kind of at the top end of where I have the attention span for runs. Because I like getting to the point where I feel like I could do a couple back to back. When you start getting up 3, 4, 6 hours, it's like, yeah, no, you're only gonna do one.
But what about a 15-hour run of Persona 5?
Yeah, and what about no?
That is the world record for reference. 15 hours 31 minutes.
Yeah, no.
Hard true ending. And New Game Plus cuts it down to like 12 and a half hours.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Like, I debated when I was really running Odyssey a lot about trying to learn like darker side. And no, even on those. It just felt too long. And those are shorter. But what I might do, provided that, any of the mods for Memory of Heroes approve runs, is kind of got 3 that's still sitting. One of them's been over a week now. But there is a survival mode marathon, which is basically running through all 3 difficulties. I might decide to do something like that. Simply for the fact of it's looking like about a half hour kind of is the range for that. I like smaller stuff.
Yeah, okay. Apparently no one runs Persona 3 normal, like regular Persona 3, because there's only one run. Would you care to guess how long the run is?
I probably don't want to know.
Probably not.
But I'm also that kind of person to, go look, and holy...
Yeah. 42 hours, 26 minutes. There is no way in hell that's actually how long. Because I looked at the FES runs, which is pretty much the exact same game. Those are in the 8 to 12 hour range. Or no, 15 hour range. And that would be the same content.
Okay.
Granted, that's world record. How the fuck? Why? Why is Persona 3 so long? 20 hours plus as an average? How? That can't be right.
Well then.
I'm sorry, I've played Persona 3. There's no way in hell this game is like some 20 plus hour speed run. No, that can't be right. That's insane.
Okay. Which category are you looking at for it, though?
For FES,
Yeah.
that is hard true ending.
Okay.
It's literally the same game. I don't know. I don't think FES changed that much to Persona 3 base. So I don't know why. Granted, like the lower end of the runs are in the 20-hour ranges. But still, like... I could beat that time. For Persona 3 base. I'm
In
pretty
one
sure
sitting?
I can.
That might be the problem.
True.
Because that is something when you get to longer games. It used to be more common that you'd see allowing in segments.
Yeah.
Except because of like marathons and stuff like that, they kind of started cutting back on that, and now we don't get as many.
Yeah.
I kind of like the segmented idea, but at the same time I also feel like I can understand, because you would have to edit a video for it. SRC doesn't really give you the option to put more than one video.
True.
So unless you're doing your own boards off SRC, then yeah, I kind of can understand. Kind of has to be all one. But yeah. Needless to say, I won't be running a Persona game either.
Neither will I, fucking ever.
I mean, yeah. I really love the combat in Memory of Heroes, so yeah. And then I also realized that Spike and Hobbs did a Let's Play of Spider-Man PS4.
Yeah.
And I've been watching that, and the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, God, if I ever got my hands on this game, I would probably wind up speedrunning something to do with it. Whether it's the DLCs or whatever. Because I've seen Hobbs do the DLCs and they're smaller. They would be the kind of time frame that I would be like, yeah, I could do that.
Do the Arkham games do speedruns of like the combat modes challenges?
That's a good question. That is actually a good question.
No. Placed on City.
Okay. Is what you're
Cold
talking
Heart.
about the Predator challenges?
More or less. Those are the stealth ones.
Okay, because I was going to say those, it looks like they're broke down in a per, technically speaking, level. I guess
Yeah.
mission concept would more be the right term.
Yeah, it's per mission because they're all like separate missions. But those are the stealth ones.
There again, not too familiar with the Arkham games, so I'm just gonna flat out be like, yeah.
Arkham Origins has Cold Cold Heart, which I think is DLC. Because it's like, I think that's DLC for Origins. Arkham episodes from Arkham Knight are the same thing ish. Well, those are more like mix of things. They're more or less a mini campaign like the Spider-Man DLCs are.
But yeah, I mean, it's a case of new game and new game plus for Spider-Man is a little over the 3-hour mark. That's a little above where I would aim for.
Right.
But then all 3 DLCs are like around the half-hour mark. Yeah, I could do that. I would be perfectly fine doing that.
I wouldn't be surprised if Miles is on the shorter side too.
That's actually a good question.
2.5-ish.
Yeah, I don't know if I would be able for that one kind of concept.
Yeah, it's in the 3-hour range.
Yeah, because that's one of those I'm like, that might be a little too much for me too. It's one of those I could enjoy that casually, but in a speedrun sense, no. And I feel like at the end of the day, that's going to be the same concept with Memory of Heroes. Survival mode stuff is going to be the thing that I'm going to just probably grind for as far as speedrun wise. And the main story is going to be I just want to play. I'm going to play. But yeah, that. I've also played Bowser's Fury.
Ooh. How is Bowser's Fury?
I've got to get it out of my head that it is not Odyssey.
I figured. It looked too much like Odyssey for someone to not fall into the trap of, all right, I'm playing Odyssey. Oh shit, no, I'm not.
Yeah, and there is enough controls different between 3D World and Odyssey that it's like, yep. Because for all intents and purposes, you kind of are playing with the 3D World moveset.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at that, and then also looking at Odyssey, I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to make Bowser's Fury the, I guess, test to see if it's feasible for them to do a lot of different power-ups in a Odyssey style game, but also how people will react to having said power-ups in an Odyssey style game.
Yeah, because you don't get power-ups in Odyssey, which I didn't even realize. And I was like, oh fuck, we don't get power-ups at all. We just are stuck. And Cappy gets us like pseudo-esque power-ups sometimes.
Yeah. So that's one of those I'm like, I see where they're going with it. This is basically our Galaxy 2 in a sense, where they've implemented stuff they probably wanted to do in Odyssey, but just didn't get the time to do it. So on one hand, I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'll ever be able to get to the point where I will feel comfortable speedrunning Bowser's Fury, mainly because I don't know if I'll put that time into it. But now I'm also interested to see where we're going with the next Mario game.
Yeah. I've seen someone from TRG speedrun Bowser's Fury. I forgot who.
I know Jules was.
It was probably Jules.
Probably. that might also be the reason why I wound up getting it.
Yeah. Because he streams late.
Yeah, I saw him doing it, and I'm like, this looks like something I could get into. But unfortunately, as I was playing it, I'm like, nope, my completionism side is showing too much in Bowser's Fury. Not gonna let me do it. Got it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've been staying up late most days of the week, and he streams late, so I catch a bit of his stream. Yeah. Which is terrible when you have a dog that requires you to be up in the morning, unless he just decides to just not want you to be up in the morning. Which is never.
Yeah. But yeah, honestly, that's kind of the only two things I've done. I want to kind of play 3D World, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's 3D World. It's not bad, but it's really not good either.
Yeah. So I've been playing Strikers. I'm through into, I guess, the second dungeon, just to keep the terminology simple and not get into all the Persona 5 Strikers specific terminology. Because there's a lot.
Fair.
But I'm through the first dungeon. I'm starting into the second one. Actually, like pretty deep into the second one, I think, at this point. It feels weird to go, okay, this is made by the same people who did Hyrule Warriors. But this plays nothing like Hyrule Warriors in concept.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know how at Hyrule Warriors, you have your map and you're going around to keeps and stuff, capturing them and doing objectives?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, throw that all out the window. None of that exists in this game. Like, literally, take all of that out the window. This is a completely different game for all intents and purposes, but somehow is a Muso game by fact of they share a similar control scheme ish. So instead of like one map, you have several interconnected maps that you are going around and doing objectives in. Except you're not doing combat all the time, you're also doing platforming and like solving puzzles. But you can also get advantage on enemies when you start combat from them, because you can ambush them like you can in Persona 5. Also, you have like item management and like stuff like that, because you have a finite amount of health and mana that you have to recharge either by using items or like leaving the dungeon and coming back. Also, you can't swap. You have a team of 4 and you can swap between them on the fly in combat or in and out of combat, but you have a full squad of like 9 characters you can swap in and out of combat into your active party. So you have more or less, they took all of the RPG mechanics of Persona and went, okay, how do we incorporate all these into a Muso game? And then they did. And I'm like, I kind of like this game because it's this weird mashup. Like, nothing I'm saying probably makes a damn lick of sense until you watch like 2 hours of this game. And then it will all make sense. Like, I'll be honest, this is a game that needs to be seen rather than like talked about, because like once you see how it lays out everything and how you go through stuff, everything clicks, especially if you're coming from a Persona game, because you still have all that elemental weakness, like exploiting to do all-out attacks and like gain advantage and all that combat, but now you're having to do it on the fly when there's like 40 enemies around you. So I hope you're used to it, because this game requires you to do that. It also will kick your butt, because it has kicked my butt several times. I've game overed twice. You are a bit on the spongy side with some of the bigger enemies, and they do not fuck around if they decide to just go, no, you're dead, and you'll be dead. Because you're expected to dodge. So it's a game that I'm really liking, especially because this game is a sequel to Persona 5. And by Persona 5, I mean base Persona 5, not Persona 5 Royal. So, like, Kasumi is not in this game. So don't expect her to be in this game. And I'm surprised she's not even DLC for this game, because there's actually no DLC for this game. And it's been out for over a year in Japan.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah. Also, give me a second. I need to let my dog out before he has a tantrum. I hear him in the distance. So give me a second. All right, I'm back. Look, as I was saying, this is a sequel to Persona 5 base. So you have the entire team off the bat. Like, there's like technically 2 characters you unlock, but one of them is right off the bat, and the other one I think is like halfway through the game. But you have like your entire team from Persona 5. So it means the entire team gets to interact with each other off the bat. And that's the whole game story and plot-wise, or story and character-wise. And I'm really loving that. Because I really like the characters from Persona 5, and having them all together, getting to interact and like bounce off each other was like really good, because the writing's really good. Because normally for Persona games, you get your last party member, what is it, like third to last dungeon in Persona 5? Oh, wow. So that party member doesn't get to do much or get to interact much, and you get a party member per dungeon. So like you don't get that much interaction of the whole cast by the end. But here's a whole game that's like, we're doing that, and I'm like, yes please. So I'm really enjoying Strikers. I'm getting used to the gameplay, and I'm figuring it out. I'm like, yeah, I really like this. I will say, if you're a fan of a normal Muso game and you're looking at this and going, should I pick this up? No. Do your homework on this one. Watch a few hours of this game and to make sure you understand what you're getting into, because this is by no means a normal Muso game by any standard. I kind of also don't want to call this a Muso game, because it really isn't. Like, I think this is as far off from a Muso game by like standards as you can get. But I haven't really played much else. Because I've spent the last like week putting together a lot of stuff I got in from the middleman I use. So that's all put together. I only took pictures of the Ryugen custom I did, so but I'll talk about that later. But anything else before we hit the news?
No.
All right, then. First up, the Pokemans. We had a Pokemon Presents. So the big takeaways from this are twofold, because we get a reminder that Snap exists, which, like, I think we've seen all we need to see about Snap. If you're on board for this new Snap, you are. If you're not, you're not.
Fair.
Because I think they showed off some item stuff, and that was kind of it.
I don't know. I didn't get to watch it.
Okay, I think it showed off some item stuff that like we hadn't seen before, but like it's Pokemon Snap, but you know what Pokemon Snap is at this point.
Yes, it's Pokemon Picture.
Yes. Some 25th anniversary stuff for like Sword and Shield because they're doing a G-Max Pikachu event. Cafe Mix is getting a login bonus of items for that game. The Legendary Birds and Mewtwo are going to be in Go as a raid event. And like Masters EX is getting Leon and his Charizard as characters you can pick up. But the big things to take away from this is, first and foremost, Gen 4 remakes that apparently no one likes the art style for.
I almost feel like I kind of can understand, because it feels like this weird mashup of they thought they were doing Let's Go, but at the same time just kind of updating. And it's like, yeah,
right.
I might can see that.
I have a weird comparison that makes far too much sense, especially considering the conversation people are having. Doesn't this remind you of the new Link's Awakening?
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I had. That was my immediate thought when I saw it. I'm like, oh, this reminds me of Link's Awakening. Like, oh, right. Everyone argued about Link's Awakening.
Yeah, the weird mashup of, yeah. Like we kind of have too many different art styles in the play at the same time.
Mm-hmm. The chibi animated toy aesthetic.
But trying to use the newer graphics set up with it.
Right.
Yeah. And the few screenshots I've seen, I'm like, yeah, I might can understand why everyone's griping.
It looks fine to me. Granted, I wasn't really offended by Link's Awakening remake either, so I guess I'm in the party of this looks fine.
I just felt it looked weird.
Mm-hmm. But the most interesting things of
this, okay, I've got the trailer going.
Yeah.
The movement doesn't look bad.
No.
The problem is when we're going to the battles.
Yeah, because the battles have the full actual trainer models.
And it's like we're doing this weird mix between the Chibi and Let's Go's model setup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With clearly Sword and Shield models for the Pokemon. And it don't look right together. It really don't. Wow. Like I saw that one, I saw where they had the Lucario there, and it's like, wow, that really does not look right. I kind of completely can understand everyone griping now.
Right. Honestly, the more interesting things about this is like what it wasn't really shown but told us. So this is being billed as a faithful remake. So they didn't really specify what that was, although what was it? I forget who spotted it, but there was a Porygon Z in the trailer, which was not present in Diamond and Pearl, but was present in Platinum. So there is a question of how much of Platinum is in these Diamond and Pearl remakes, which is something I'm interested in, because I wonder if this is a pure Diamond and Pearl experience, or if it's a Diamond and Pearl remixed experience with Platinum thrown in, since Platinum isn't that far off from Diamond and Pearl, like beat for beat wise. You just need to add in Giratina as necessary, which is entirely possible. Also, 1 second, I'll be back. All right, I'm back.
All right. I just thought of something.
What?
Faithful remake, right?
Right.
Did we actually have all of the first 3 gens of Pokemon accessible in Sword and Shield?
Yes. Yes.
We had all 3 of them readily accessible. I know Gen 1 we did.
Yeah, you can.
2 and 3 were the ones I'm more questionable on.
Yeah, because 2 is Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and that's transferable up. And 3 is Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, which is a 3DS title, so yeah.
Okay, so all of those were readily accessible then.
Right.
So I guess I could see that.
I just wonder if how much would be new, because they've always done like new things to these games. To various degrees, it just depends. But like them calling it Faithful, I'm just like, are you doing anything new to this? Because like I don't know how many people are interested in this if they're not, if they're like old fans coming into this. Like, what is new for them to experience besides new way of seeing Sinnoh?
Well, wasn't this one of the gens that we at least didn't have the starters for?
Yes. It was like, what was it? Like 4, 5, 7?
No. No, we have the starters for 7. 7's Alola.
6 then. I was about to say I get very I don't remember my numbers very well, so I'm like, it's the one with Greninja because we don't have Greninja.
Right.
So 4, 5, and 6.
So I think this is more of a, if they're doing it for any reason, it's to get the remainder of Gen 4
Right.
into where they can do it. I'm trying to think, where was the changeover to where they started trying to use like 3D-esque models?
That would be Gen 6. That was Kalos.
That was 6.
Yep. 5 was the last sprite-based ones.
So I almost wonder if maybe they're doing this to lead into a Gen 5 remake so that they have had a chance to remake all the models.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if anyone's clamoring for a Gen 5 remake, to be honest. It's like, I don't think anyone wants Gen 5 remakes.
Probably not, but they'd probably just do it just so that they had a way to make the models.
Right.
And because, I mean, that at that point, wouldn't that actually be the only sprite gen that hadn't been updated at all?
Yeah.
So,
well, no, technically not, because gens, or the remakes of gens 1 and 2 were sprite based.
Except Let's Go negates 1.
Okay, then 2 is the only sprite based one that's never gotten remade.
But
because 2 is sprite based.
2 was Gold and Silver. It did technically have a remake of Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
Heart Gold Soul Silver is
still sprite based, I know, but
right. Yeah.
I'm not meaning going from sprite to 3D. I'm just meaning having a recent enough remake.
Well, okay, yeah. Yeah, then yeah, we're fine on all that.
So that would kind of make sense for them to do 4 then 5, and that would at least bring everything up a little closer to relevance.
Right. But the other piece of news coming out of this is the developer, because Game Freak is not making these remakes. It is a studio by the name of ILCA. They are primarily a support studio for a lot of different games from a lot of different people. This, I think, is the first time that they've done a main title. Although I believe Masuda is still director on this. So I wouldn't be surprised if him and some other people from Game Freak are still on staff for this in lead positions to make sure everything goes right.
To be fair, that could be the reason why it's also more of a faithful remake.
Right.
It's because they are contracting this out to others and just giving it their stamp of approval kind of deal.
Yeah. But this marks the first time we've ever had a more or less a mainline Pokemon title be developed by not Game Freak, I believe.
I'd say you're right.
Because Game Freak, while these remakes, I believe, are dated for this year. Yeah, they're dated for late this year, so probably like sometime around holiday this year. I'm willing to just say it's going to be holiday this year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect it sooner than that. Next year is Pokemon Breath of the Wild. I might as well just call it that, because they also did the exact same shot that Breath of the Wild does, with like the character running up the cliff to like overlook the map. But Pokemon Legends Arceus will be a prequel. Essentially, we're in ancient times in Sinnoh, where like all the things about Pokemon are not like standardized at all. So you don't battle Pokemon to catch them. You just toss balls out in the wild and you just see if you can catch them.
So you play Let's Go.
Except you don't even transition to a screen to catch them. Like, you are out in the field, you see a Pokemon in the grass, and I guess you just aim and throw.
I saw that.
Yeah.
So
It's still Let's Go to a certain extent.
it's like Let's Go crossed with Pixelmon?
Essentially. Weirdly enough, yeah.
I would normally be like, wait, do they know that exists? But yes, I'm sure they do.
Right. But you have that. There are still Pokemon battles and stuff. And they have like a rotating camera, and there's like a bit of, I think, an art style to all the Pokemon. Difference than your character? I'm not sure. I swear there is. But you're essentially in ancient times. Like, if you remember that Celebi movie where Ash went back in time and hung out with child Professor Oak, and they had those ancient-looking Pokeballs? That. Or also the one Pokemon movie where they went back in time for the Arceus movie. Coincidentally enough. But like, all that's still the same, but instead of like going on a journey to get 8 badges and challenge the Elite Four and beat the champion, apparently you're on a journey to complete the first ever Pokedex. And Arceus has some role in the story, which is why he's on the title of it. I believe the town you're in is a town in Diamond and Pearl, and it's also the area where you would go meet Arceus for the event in those games. So it's probably why you're from that town. Also, your starters are not the standard starters from Sinnoh at all.
Yeah.
None of them are.
Yeah.
Your starters are Cyndaquil, Rowlet, and Oshawott.
Which makes me wonder about that one, because now I'm like, if that's the case, we've got very vast differences in gens with that.
Right. Someone tried to explain like why these 3 specific starters, because of their final evolutions and what they are. Because Oshawott is samurai based in his evolution line. Rowlet is archer based in his evolution line, so 2 very ancient like warrior classes. Cyndaquil is the one that doesn't make sense, which is why it should have been Tepig, because Tepig is sumo. But it's possibly because there's a lot of volcanoes in Japan, and Cyndaquil becomes a volcano Pokemon. So, I don't. I think it's because these three are just like, we just wanted three starters that worked well together, I guess.
Well, it's probably to round out the trifecta.
Probably.
But that's interesting. Gens 2, 5, and 7?
Yeah. It's like, these are odd gen choices.
But that also...
And there's a Shinx in the trailer, so there is Gen 4 Pokemon in this proper.
But that's also making me wonder. Because, like I said, 2, 5, and 7.
Yeah.
So maybe we won't get the Gen 5 remake? Maybe they'll push that in here? Because I believe that's the first time that we're going to have in the current setup the 3D model.
I need you to go to the time code for me real quick.
Okay.
Time code 113.
I can't tell which one that is.
That's Chimchar. That's a starter.
Oh, yeah.
That's a starter out in the wild for you to catch. What? Excuse me? Like, again, that's a gen. That's still.
That's one of the Sinnoh starters.
I know. Wait a minute. Like, it's not as shocking because it's still a Gen 4 starter, but I'm like, that's a starter out in the wild. Wait, are we not going to regulate what's in the field? Can it be anything in the field? Also, Piplup in the trailer. Multiple Piplups, so that's catchable. That's another starter.
So
We're only missing Turtwig.
I was going to say we just need Turtwig at this point.
Yeah. So that's starters in the wild. Also, you can dodge roll in this game for some reason. I don't know why, and I don't know what it would. Why you need to dodge roll.
But yeah, that's making me wonder now. Because with that kind of setup, that technically could mean that we might just get our new engine models for Gen 5 here.
It would make sense because, like, the trailer talks about Pokemon being imported from other regions into Sinnoh. So, and there's like a Rhyhorn in there, so that's a Gen 1 Pokemon.
But what gets me, this is supposed to be like a, for lack of a better term, a prequel.
Right.
To a region that we've already explored.
Right.
So what's the reasoning for why those other Pokemon aren't still there?
This is so old, they probably don't exist in this region anymore. Like, Sinnoh as a region is not even properly formed. The town you're in isn't even really properly formed, and I don't think is even named in trailer, even though we know what it is because of context.
Well, the only reason I'm saying that is because it seems like we were going one of two ways. We're either dealing with some time travel magic Which, let's be fair, the legendaries can do some weird things. So sure,
We are. God is on the box art of this game, so.
Or we're maybe looking at like parallel universe concept.
Maybe, I don't know. I think it's a case of don't worry about it.
Probably.
Also, I realized something, or I found out about something I was listening to someone talk about this game that I never put together.
Okay.
Type Null is an artificial Arceus. The ring around his neck is the same ring that Arceus has around his body. And he has the same plate mechanic that Arceus has of loading in something specific to change its typing. I never realized that. I never realized Type Null was an experiment to try to replicate God.
I mean, doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. I just never put it together until someone pointed out, and I'm like, oh, fuck, you're right.
Yeah.
So I will be perfectly honest. The Diamond and Pearl remakes and like Platinum was my reintroduction into Pokemon after being off of it for several years because I picked it up at Blockbuster on a whim and kind of got hooked back into Pokemon. So like I have a little bit of nostalgia for it, but Gen 5 was I would say I think I'm more nostalgic for Gen 5 than I am Gen 4, technically. But I'm far more interested in the Legends game.
Yeah.
Which doesn't come out till next year. And I would say it probably will come out next year since Game Freak is working solely on it.
I feel like we're looking at honestly the same thing I was talking about with Bowser's Fury. I think Arceus is gonna be where Game Freak wants to go with Pokemon going forward. This is we're gonna see how this goes first.
Yeah.
Whereas since I feel like the remake is hey, we know everyone doesn't like open world adventure stuff. Go for it. Here's your more linear, normal Pokemon game.
Here's your remakes. Now shut up about them.
Yeah.
Shut up and stop bugging us about them. Here, take them. Leave us. We want to do cool things. We're doing cool things over here.
And I think on that note, they're also kind of killing two birds with one stone because then the next gen will wind up being something they actually can hawk from the beginning as having all of the Pokemon back.
Yeah. But any other thoughts before we hit the state of play?
Do we have to?
I mean, is there anything to talk about really besides Final Fantasy?
No, there's nothing to talk about. You're exactly right on that.
So, state of play. Here are the not Final Fantasy VII Remake highlights. Crash 4 is getting some improvements on its PlayStation 5 release, and I think it's a free upgrade. Yay.
I mean, I will probably be picking that up on PC anyhow if I get it. So, meh.
Returnal got new gameplay shown. That's that one time loop game on an alien planet. I know, time loop games are very common right now, but it's that one.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah.
Okay, this one I think is interesting. Sifu. It's a so you know that one scene from the first season of Daredevil. That's the big long one take fight in the hallway.
No.
Okay, so in Daredevil season 1 on Netflix, there is this long take of Daredevil fighting a bunch of people through a hallway. What if you did that but a video game? So it's a bunch of combat corridors with a lot of like martial arts combat and stuff. It actually looked pretty cool. But I don't think it's slated until next year, maybe. Or no, this year for PlayStation 4 and 5. Knockout City got some more gameplay shown. Okay, this is the first time I actually got to see anything for this game. Because I missed it at the Direct.
Which one was that one?
Dodgeball.
Oh, yeah, that one. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Solar Ash from shit, what are they? I can't even remember the name. Did they mention in the article? Oh, Hyper Life Drifter. Hyper Life Drifter devs. Solar Ash looks cool. I like the art on it. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach got gameplay shown. All-World Soulstorm got a release date of April 6th. Kena got more gameplay and story stuff, which I like that game, but it's nothing super new. Deathloop got another trailer because this game is still not out, even though we are like, I swear, 6 trailers deep in this game. Like, I swear we have seen enough of Deathloop. Like, it should just come out now. We don't need a trailer. And finally, so you know how RE7 Remake has came out on PlayStation 4? And everything that's come out on 4 in the last, like, 3 years needs to have its PlayStation 5 version, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the PlayStation 5 version of Final Fantasy VII called Remake Intergrade. Now, why is that? Because outside of all the improvements and all the texture upgrades and all the yada 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 you expect from something like this, how much do you like Yuffie? Because presumably, and I'm going to say presumably because there is no definitive information, I think, outside of the wording of the trailer to say one way or the other if this is the case, but only on the PlayStation 5 version of 7R will you be able to play a DLC campaign, more or less, with Yuffie. Featuring enemies and a VR boss fight, presumably, against people from Dirge of Cerberus. You know, that third-person shooter that everyone loves. I will be honest, Yuffie's look cool. Because you do get, like, team attacks and all. Like, Yuffie's gameplay looks fun. I don't like the context that it's all in. So, does this make you want to hop on the 7R train?
No.
Me neither. Like, I took the 10-year journey with Kingdom Hearts. I don't want to take the 10-year journey with Final Fantasy VII Remake, as much as the game looks good. I don't want to be on that train. If it decides to go off a fucking cliff. I will care about this game when this is done. and we have like all the games out. And maybe I'll play through them if they're all good. But I believe Intergrade is slated for this year. Yeah, it's slated for June 10th, which also coincidentally enough is like 3 days before, or I think it's like a day before Guilty Gear Strive, because it got delayed. Because everyone complained about the lobby system being garbage on Guilty Gear Strive, and ArcSys went, we'll fix that. We'll make the lobbies not garbage fire. So yeah, 7R Intergrade exists, but that's not the only Final Fantasy news. So do you remember those trademarks? Yeah. So everyone thought those trademarks were going to be something cool and interesting because it was like Ever Crisis. It's the exact thing. It might be DLC for 7R. In First Soldier, there must be a Sephiroth thing about that. About that. So, First Soldier is a mobile title coming out this year for iOS and Android. And it is a battle royale game. So
I mean, it would be bad enough if it was just a battle royale game, but mobile.
Yes, a mobile battle royale game, because mobile is the thing all day. And you're essentially playing as Nameless Soldier, like Soldier, all capital letters, Soldier. Like 30 years before the events of Final Fantasy VII. But it gets better. Ever Crisis is also a mobile title. It will be coming out next year, and it has a chapter-based, more or less updated overworld movement of the original Final Fantasy VII, but gameplay that is reminiscent of remake of not just original 7, but also of Advent Children before Crisis, which is a mobile game, Crisis Core, which is the PSP game, and Dirge of Cerberus. And they will recap the entire story of each of these games. For those of you who need to know this, because 7R is calling upon a lot of compilation of Final Fantasy VII stuff, and this is all the compilation of Final Fantasy VII. So, here's your recap game. Are you excited for this one?
More so than the Battle Royale mode, but still no.
That was loud in my ears. Yeah, I look at both of these and I'm just like, you know, if Ever Crisis wasn't on mobile, I might care because of the okay, you're putting Advent Children into a video game form. Cool. I want to see how the fuck that you pull that off, since that's a movie.
Yeah.
But still. And before anyone asks, no, it will be in the same style as they're doing the Final Fantasy VII content, because in this trailer is Crisis Core stuff. So presumably all of the content will be match each other in the form of like original Final Fantasy VII overworld stuff, and then the combat will be more or less 7R ish, because it's still like ATB and all that. It's weird. I'm like, I understand why one of these exists, because you want people to have actually understood what the hell a compilation of Final Fantasy VII is, since Remake is a part of the compilation of Final Fantasy VII and will reference shit from those media, even though no one cares about any of them.
Unless
isn't-
you're Glock.
Like, the only things people care about of the compilation are 7 and Crisis Core, and that's kind of it. I don't think most people care about Before Crisis or even play Before Crisis, because I think that's Japan only. Dirge of Cerberus is garbage, and most people probably didn't play it. And Advent Children is probably like, wait, did I watch Advent Children? Because it has been probably a decade since that game came out, or since that movie came out. So, yeah.
Yeah.
7, you complicated little. Ugh. I would like to care about more about 7R, but the fact that it's attached to so much other stuff, it's like I can't. I did this dance before. I'm not doing this dance again.
Yep.
Square.
Yep. Kingdom Hearts.
If this was a one and done, and if 7R was just the entire fucking video game, right now I'd be fine. But no, it has to be all this other bullshit on top of it, and I'm like, no, I'm not waiting 10 years for this to be done. Anyway, Epic has been busy. So Epic has acquired another studio, and their continuing library of acquisitions that will be added to their library, and it's Tonic, the people who made Fall Guys. Now, I guess the important notes from this is Fall Guys is going nowhere. It's staying on Steam. It'll just be on the Epic Game Store at some point. And, like, I guess Epic will publish stuff from Tonic. So, yay. But also, once more, Epic has bought a studio that made a hugely successful Battle Royale-esque game.
Yep.
But in other news, so recently, Destiny 2 has had a bug that allows 12 people to enter a raid. That is, I believe, double the number of people who can be in a raid normally. Because I think the raids are 6 people?
I don't know.
Neither do I, really. But Bungie has commented on this, and I do applaud them for this. They have essentially said, we will fix this. But for now, go enjoy this, because this is actually cool for us to watch. Which makes me curious.
If it wasn't so much a glitch as much as it was a feature.
No, but if maybe Bungie is looking at this and going, wait, people like playing 12-person raids and can actually organize 12-person raids? What if we made a 12-person raid a proper 12-person raid?
I could see that. I also have to wonder if what I said might be somewhat true also.
Yeah.
It's a case of it wasn't a bug, it was a feature that they just kind of hid.
Yeah, because other MMOs have had bigger style raids in them.
Yeah. I mean, granted, a lot of them that do handle that also don't handle it in the same form as how Destiny's set up.
Right.
But yeah. So it's something that someone there had to be familiar with.
Right.
That's part of the reason I'm kind of like, I wonder if it was maybe a unspoken feature, so to say.
It's an accident, but we might do something with this accident since you all like it.
I could be completely reading into this far more than anyone should, but yeah.
Yeah.
In light of them being like, yeah, we'll fix it, but go have fun. We're kind of enjoying this. It's like, did you really mean for that to be a bug, or was that just a hidden feature that people found a little quicker than you meant?
But I have bad news. So you know how Marvel Avengers hasn't been doing very good.
It won't do any better.
So apparently, Crystal Dynamics has put out a blog talking about how they are decreasing the amount of XP gain you're going to get over time and slowing down your progression of individual characters. Essentially, they're slowing down the grind to make it longer. I'm just going to say this now. This sounds like a bad idea for a game that I feel like will not last long.
So, they're taking a grind
Yes.
of a game that already doesn't really feel good if what we got to experience from the beta became in product.
Especially on the grind sense, because I've looked into how the end game is. But yeah.
I'm not even looking at the grind sense of it. The simple fact that it's a superhero game that you really don't feel super.
Right.
It's like, are they trying to kill it? Like, is that the goal?
Mm-hmm.
It feels like that's the goal. I don't get this.
Neither do I. I'm pretty like we talked about how Avengers lost Square Enix money, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, because we talked about that a few weeks ago, and I'm pretty sure we talked about how Avengers was losing money for Square Enix, which is already a bad sign. And we've already talked about, like 2 weeks ago, how Anthem is dead. Like, dead. They are digging the grave and putting the body in it dead. I'm sorry, but making that grind longer and making it longer to get to what, from I understand with the in-game part, the more interesting stuff about Avengers, because when you have everything at your disposal, Avengers feels better. That feels like the worst decision.
Okay.
Literally the worst decision.
Does it feel better, or at that point do you just get numb to the mehness?
I think it feels better because you actually have more that you can do with your characters, like powers wise.
Well, the reason I say that is because my biggest complaint wasn't against the game in stuff that could be fixed over time. Like any of the movement, any of the abilities, anything like that. No, I could overlook that. It was the fact of playing as the Hulk, I was getting took down by, to put it in Hulk terms, puny enemies.
Yeah.
And it's like, that shouldn't happen? Why? Like, I get we have to have a way to punish the player. But people with assault rifles aren't going to take down the Hulk super easy. We should have a little bit of, this feels like a superhero game, and not a lot of, this feels like a typical MMO game. That was my biggest problem. And then we're going and doing this, and it's like, really? Like, and I don't understand their justification on this one either, because it was giving players too many skill points too fast? If that's the case, do you not have enough missions to spread out them skill points?
I would say no.
If the answer is no, then the problem's not that they're leveling up too fast, it's that you didn't make enough content. Which is a whole different problem.
Yeah, which is also something they're still running into, because you know how many characters they've added in since launch?
I feel like not many.
2.
Yeah.
They've added in Kate Bishop Hawkeye, and I believe currently Clint Barton Hawkeye. I think Future Imperfect has now been added in. So you have Clint Barton Hawkeye as a playable character. And bear in mind, they play very differently. They are not like the same character. So they are 2 unique characters.
So what I'm hearing is they spent way too much time making the characters feel different and not enough on the actual making of the game.
They have campaigns that are probably like 3 hours a piece. And some extra in-game stuff that they add in.
I revert back to what I just said there.
I mean, we still only have Spider-Man, who, you know, is supposed to be exclusive to the PlayStation family of consoles. Because, you know, Avengers is supposed to come to PlayStation 5, I believe, in the next, like, 2 weeks. Because it's in our release list.
Like I said. Is it too much to ask for, you know, a decent superhero game that isn't the most recent Spider-Man games?
That is asking a lot of developers, apparently.
Apparently, because, you know, I guess there's only one studio that knows how to do it.
True. But in better news, I guess.
I don't know if I'd count that as better news, but okay. Sure.
So you know how, like, Fortnite has been getting all the crossovers and stuff with, like, DC and Marvel and a dozen other video games and other stuff?
Uh-huh. And DC
now Fortnite
again.
Yes, we're doing a DC crossover again, but instead of it being in Fortnite the video game, it will be in a DC Comics miniseries that is bi-weekly, I believe. But Batman Fortnite 0 Point. It is a 6-issue miniseries where a rift opens up in Gotham and Fortnite people come in and say hi. But it gets better. Every issue of this miniseries will have a code that gives you an exclusive skin in Fortnite. The first one is apparently a Harley Quinn skin. Oh, here's the specific line. Yeah, it's Rebirth Harley Quinn, so like one of her most recent costumes. But if you get all 6 issues, and if you input all 6 codes, you unlock the armored Batman Zero outfit. So you technically get like 7 skins total for this, for people. So, would you like to pick up a comic series to get some Fortnite skins?
No. I don't even know how I feel about that.
I'm not sure how I feel about the comic itself. Because it's not like Fortnite is brimming with plot and characters.
Yeah. I mean,
especially when all this is referencing Battle Royale Fortnite and not Save the World Fortnite, where that is where all the plot is proper.
I'm just
like,
I'm at a loss for words on that one.
Yeah.
Mainly because I don't know how to feel about that. Because
is it bad?
We're introducing non-speaking characters into a comic.
Yes.
It's hard enough to get them to actually convey emotions in a video game because, you know, no voice.
Yeah.
Now we want to try to do this with lack of word bubbles. I'm
actually curious because I want to know how these characters will be characterized.
Yeah.
If at all.
That's me. Because, I mean, that would almost be like saying that we're going to have like a Legend of Zelda comic focused on just Link. Link doesn't speak. Kind of hard to do that.
I mean, to be fair, they've done that. That's in Nintendo Power.
Yeah, Nintendo can get away with that.
Right.
How many other people could?
Mm-hmm. I don't even know who's writing this. Who the fuck is the creative team on this?
Probably just whoever DC has at the moment.
Also, this is slated for April 20th, or the first issue drops April 20th. Just for anyone wondering when it release date on this. It's actually not that far out.
Yeah, I'm baffled on this one.
Yeah. Was it Christos Gage? Not Cage, Cage is the writer. The CCO of Epic, Donald Muster, did concept and story consultation. And we have a few different artists on this. Riley Brown, Kristen Deuce, Nielsen DeCasto, and cover artist is for issue 1's provided by Mikkel Janine. I don't know who's this Christos Gage guy is. What has he done? A lot. Okay. Oh, he apparently wrote for the Sony Spider-Man. The video game end of it. Also, a lot of Marvel, a lot of indie stuff, a lot of DC stuff. He's got a lot of credentials. So I don't know. This is dumb in the way that the one wrestling comic I read back in the day is. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll buy an issue. It gets me a free skin, and I'll see where this dumb shit goes.
Good luck with that.
You'll just read it elsewhere.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Or you'll just get the cliff notes from me.
Probably.
But anything else?
I don't guess so.
All right, then. Releases. We have a few releases.
A few.
Yeah, it's not that many actually, considering some of our last couple times.
Yeah.
But we shall kick off on the 8th with Noble Armada Lost Worlds for Switch. On the 9th, Apex Legends for Switch, Janosu Skydrift for PlayStation 4, and Neverwinter Shardnadard. I'm gonna say Shardnadard, and it's probably wrong. For Xbox One and PlayStation 4. On the 11th, A Day Without Me on Switch, Alchemist Simulator for Switch, Battle Brothers for Switch, Bisuju Battle Cyber Panic for Switch, Blood Bunny the Game for Switch, Bob Help Them for Switch, Chained for Switch, Cyanide and Happiness, Freak Apocalypse Part 1, Hell Pass to Hell for Switch, Doodle Devil Thrivolution for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Switch, Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, and 5, Multi-Quiz for Switch, No Reload Heroes Enhanced Edition for Switch, Smash Club Streets of Shimis for Switch, and Stitchy and Toki Trouble for Switch. Excuse me.
For those that couldn't tell, yes, that is Switch Indie Day.
Pretty much. On the 12th, Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 5, and Switch. Drive-By for Switch, Heaven Dust for Xbox One, Journey of the Broken Circle for Xbox One, No More Heroes 1 and 2, Collector's Editions for Switch, Pinkman Plus for Switch, Socko Dice for Switch, and Self Where's My Father for Xbox One. On the 16th, Monster Truck Championships for Xbox One, Series X, and PlayStation 5, Mundan Verdun for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, and 5, Kingdoms of Alamar Re-Reckoning for Switch, RBI Baseball 21 for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, and Switch, Samurai Showdown for Series X, Savers of Sapphire Wings and Strangers of Sword City Revisited for Switch, Signs of the Sojourner for PlayStation 4, Stubbs the Zombie in Rebel Without a Pulse for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch. Why the fuck is this game getting a remaster?
I don't know, but I kind of really love the name for it.
Like, I recognized the game when this was announced at the Direct, and I was like, excuse me? This game's getting a remaster? Fucking why? I remember this from X-Play. Anywho, on the 17th, Beach Buggy Racing 2 Island Adventures for Switch, Dungeon Defenders Awaken for Xbox One and Series X, and Rays of Light for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. On the 18th, we have Borderlands 3 Director's Cut for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, and 5. Explodonide DX for Xbox One and Switch. Fantasy Team Sextet Volume 3 Postal Days for Switch. Marvel's Avengers for Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. Science of the Sojourner for Switch. And Space Otters Charlie for Switch. And on the 19th, Angry Video Game Nerd 1 and 2 Deluxe for Xbox One. Can't Drive This for PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. Hades for Switch. Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville Complete Edition for Switch. Root Film for PlayStation 4 and Switch. And Signs of Sojourner for Xbox One. Not the most interesting set of releases to come the next couple weeks.
Nope. Especially seeing as how, one of those on the 18th probably will only last for a couple more months and then die out again.
Yeah. So, quick draws. I haven't been doing any 3D modeling at the moment because I've just not been up for it at the moment, but I did finish, or actually I just did it in a day really, the Rajimba Dragon Fruits Ryugen custom I was wanting to do. So for reference, I don't have the ability to make a proper stickers for this to do like the textured and like Ryugen symbol on the vest. So it's just painted a comparable red. And it's also why the energy lock seat and the driver is blank, because it technically has one of the 4 drivers you get for Gaim Jimba, because it gives you individual drivers for all the 4 Jimba forms for you to sticker. So I stole the Jimba Peach one because that's the one with the energy lock seat that looks close enough. And I cut Ryugen's lock seat off of the sticker sheet for his and just put it on there. And the head, most of the accents and stuff and like the little like feather thing on the back is done up in silver. There's a bit of an overlap on the silver because I'm not that good. Also, the hand holding the Sonic Arrow, that's one of Gaim's hands painted green. Thankfully, you can't
really tell it.
Yeah. Thankfully, somehow, magically, the green I got is a green that's close enough that you can't tell the difference. Also, because of how it holds it, it kind of covers up most of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like one of the customs I've been wanting to do done. Although I have then thought about a stupid idea that will now be a work in progress thing.
Oh boy.
Okay, so I've had to do a lot of Sonic Arrow stickering because I also got like Lemon Energy, Baron, and Melon Energy Zangetsu. And both of them come with 2 versions of the Sonic Arrow. One normal, like in these photos, and a pulled back one, like they're firing it. So I've had to sticker the Sonic Arrows several times over.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And for reference, it is 6 stickers a piece because it is like the blades are stickered on both sides. And then the centerpiece where like the arrowhead is, it's stickered on both sides. So that is 6 stickers per Sonic Arrow I have done. So I have done a lot of the Sonic Arrow. It sucks. I literally didn't sticker the last Sonic Arrow, which is the extended one from Gaim, because I was like, I have literally 2 of these sitting in a bin. I'm not going to bother stickering this one. But that means that the 3 of them are sitting on my shelf, all wielding a Sonic Arrow, and that seems kind of boring, visually speaking. So, stupid idea. What if Jimba Dragon Fruits gives Ryugen his own unique weapon? What if it gives him, like, oh, I don't know, a dragon-themed crossbow? Because that's different enough. Guess who's thinking about how that would look at the moment?
Oh god.
And may or may not be stupid enough to attempt to make that.
I wonder, could you do it in like the sense of like how the Sonic Arrow is?
It's what I'm thinking of, like taking the Sonic Arrow as a base
And kind
like
of adapting off of it.
Right.
Because that
like,
actually probably would look nice.
Right.
And now that I'm thinking about it, this is a dumb idea, but I'm sure you will wind up thinking of it before too long. Anyhow, it would probably be interesting to see like different designs for each of the others also.
I don't know if I would go that far because I don't know what the fuck to do for anyone else, and I'd rather just leave them the Sonic Arrows because they're using regular Genesis driver stuff. This is the only like proper Jimba form I'm doing. Even though I technically now have... In order to do this, I had to actually get both boxes of Gaim Jimba and both boxes of Ryugen. Because the Ryugen, the base body box gives me the body. The armor box gives me the back of his helmet. Which means I have the rest of his armor with like nothing to do with. But the Gaim Jimba, the armor box gives me, the Jimba armor and stuff and the Sonic arrows. Cool. In order to have the hands, I need the body box. And the Sengoku drivers are also in the body box. So I literally have this entire Gaim, like Jimba Gaim in Budo arms and nothing to do with them. Except maybe I could slap it together with the wrong back of the helmet, because I'm also not using Gaim's Jimba helmet. But yeah, it's done until I can do stickers. Because the stickers will stick on the paint, because the back of where the eyes would be is painted silver with the sticker on top. So they will stick to paint. So if I'm ever able to do stickers, I'll just slap the stickers over the red as soon as I figure out how to make those stickers. And then have them made.
That's actually a good question.
My uncle was supposed to have figured out that for me, but that was like 6 months ago. And he has yet to provide anything to me or tell me anything, so I think I have to figure it out on my own. Because he has like a vinyl sticker printer for like shirt stuff he does.
Which I think that would do it.
It should, but he's never gotten back to me. Because I gave him like a sticker sheet with a nameplate sticker on it, and I asked him to see if he could replicate the nameplate sticker. Like just the nameplate sticker, since it's just a square sticker with text on it. And I'm like, okay, if you can replicate this, we could figure out where to go from there. But that was like months ago, and he's not given me an update since then. And I haven't really bothered to ask him since he works a lot. And I'm just like, well, I guess I have to figure this out on my own if I want this done. Because I need that for my laser custom. Because I want to do laser with the Proto Dragon Knight Hunter armor instead of the regular one, because it's laser turbo. So he uses the Proto Dragon Knight Hunter gas hat, since he used all the other ones. Well, all the other ones by 2 of them, I mean. Because I don't need stickers. I don't need stickers for the Poppy one I'm doing. I just need to modify the chest. Because I'm putting Dorima Fabit painted pink on Poppy, because in the toys we have a pink Doremi Fabit gas hat that is technically Poppy's, because it's Poppy voicing it. So I'm just like, oh, this is hers and the Buggle Driver, because shut up, I can do what I want.
Because reasons.
Right. Because everyone else on my X8 shelf is in some sort of upgraded form, besides like Nico, and I'm like, fucking hell, I might as well get the 2 of them in upgraded form.
Fair.
But I need stickers for laser, and I guess I'm just figuring it out on my own. But anyway, that is my workshop stuff for 2 weeks. I may or may not have a 3D CAD thing in 2 weeks. It won't be a crossbow. By no means will it be that, but it might be something else. But you don't have a quick draw, correct?
Correct.
All right, then Monday, for reference, folks, because we're not streaming tomorrow. Monday is TGSR. Just to make sure you got it, it's Monday.
Yep, Monday.
And Thursday will still be more Xenoblade Chronicles. Friday will be more Halo. Saturday will be a multiplayer thing of some kind, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. I have a thought, but I don't know if I want to pull the trigger on it or if I want to change ideas for something different with it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. And then Sunday, if we are doing it next Sunday, will be more Dragon Knight as we get closer to the end of the series, and I need to fucking think of something else. And I have an idea, but I need to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you like what you've seen, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Chipping away at that affiliate goal. At Saloon on Twitter gets you updates when we're live. Next Match Point Discord chat gives you a link. Drop by, say hi. We'll see you Monday, folks.